97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock.
Hello, this is Michael Spedden, and thanks for joining us today on the 97underground.com Michael Spedden Interviews channel here on YouTube. There have been many requests from both listeners and guests for us to make available our artist interviews so they can listen again or share with others. You can find us on YouTube at 97underground Michael Spedden. Remember, the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Not only do I feature artist interviews, I feature songs you forgot you liked, classics that never die, beloved local, regional, up-and-coming, and underground artists. You can listen anytime, anywhere by downloading our free app from 97underground.com. Just do it. And now, today's episode. Hey folks, Michael Spedden here, host of the Back of the Rack on 97underground.com. Today we interviewed Slamwich, a band from Boston who's got some great new material out, and they're all over the place. They've got shows up and down the East Coast, throughout the Midwest, and they're just doing all kinds of great things. So I had them on the show to tell you about themselves, and I think you'll enjoy this interview, folks. And remember, you can listen to the Back of the Rack every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern, and also from 2 to 4 a.m. Wednesday for all you night owls and people that are up overseas. So remember, also our interviews, you're watching it right here on this station, and that is at 97 Underground Michael Spedden, where we have all of the interviews we do on the show. So without further ado, here is Slamwich. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. And today we are here with members of the band Slamwich from Boston, Massachusetts, a brand new band. They've been out for a few years now, new to us here at 97 Underground, and we're all too happy to share them with you all here. To all of our beloved listeners out there, they're a great band. I've been listening to their material quite a bit out, wherever you download music. And if you look for Slamwich, they're going to be there. And get out and support them, guys. Support our bands doing original music. That's where that's right. That's the way to go here. So today we have Frankie Puleo, the lead singer. We have Andrea Jerez, the guitarist. And we have Joey Culburg-McClung, the bass player. That's a good man there. I'm a bass player myself. So welcome, guys. Good to have you.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I understand you were just down this way.
Yes, we were.
So tell us about that. You got to play at the fabulous Shamrock Inn on Harford Road.
Yeah, it was a great show. We played with Hipfire, which I believe is a local Maryland hardcore band, as well as What, and then two other bands on tour, Fate's Hand and Damage Control.
Oh, okay. Great. So, and the show went well, huh?
Yeah, it went well. The crowd was definitely very energetic, which we love to see. Baltimore definitely has the energy, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got a good history of music here, I think. We've had, over the years, some really good scenes here on and off. And it's starting to the pendulum's kind of starting to swing back in that direction now. And there's other places down here too. As a matter of fact, we work kind of side by side with a few people I'm going to introduce you to. And we also have some other DJs on the station that are interested in playing your stuff as well. So hey, here we are. Kind of a homecoming for you though, right, Frank? A little bit with your families from this area, right?
Yeah, my extended family is. So my mom grew up in that area. So my family members came and saw the performance, which was nice.
Oh, that's good. That's good. How did they like it?
Well, one of them likes metal and the other one doesn't, but they were both enthusiastic, so that was good.
It's always, I always seem like I've always been the most nervous whenever I've had to perform in front of family. It doesn't matter if it's 1,000, 500, or 10, but when the family comes, that's when you get a little, you're like,
yeah.
oh, shoot,
They know I was nervous before.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Getting down here, and it looks like you guys played up and down the East Coast quite a bit, huh?
Yep, we do.
Getting out the how do you travel? Do you guys have something nice, or are you paying your dues yet?
We have certainly been paying our dues, I believe. Yeah, you want to go ahead?
Oh no, I was just gonna say we've kind of been taking some unreliable cars so far. We're trying to figure out a van situation, so that's currently in the budget. So, but yeah, not the best, most reliable source of travels yet.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've been there and done that myself. Been there and done that myself, and yeah, you got to get from point A to point B, and when you're on a budget, that again, that kind of, I guess, does that motivate you to try to keep it going? And
Yeah, we had our car breakdown in
After
it?
playing a show in a rainstorm in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, so all the
And-
gear got rained on, and then
And then our car broke down, and we pretty much stayed up for, I think it was like pretty much 48 hours straight, and then drove trying to fix the car and then played a show in Maryland after that. But it was actually one of the best shows we played. So
Yeah.
it was really
Yeah,
fun.
shout out Lurking Class Skate Shop.
Yeah.
In Salisbury. Amazing venue.
that's I tell you that's a story right there for the ages, because everybody's
Yeah.
been there and done that. We actually used to and I'll just when we used to play New York, we go to CBGBs and stuff. We used to take a rider truck up there, and it had like the hatch between the driver's section and the back. So we had about 20 people back there because we would put our gear in, but then couches and stuff. But looking back now, it's like a miracle nobody died of carbon monoxide poisoning or anything like that. We didn't open up the back to a bunch of dead bodies and.
Right.
But hey, that was luxury for us back in those days, So I totally understand that. But do you enjoy the road?
We do.
Yeah, for
We have a lot
sure.
of fun.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it
I
must
love
be.
the run.
I guess it must be very satisfying to see that people in other areas like what you're doing too. I guess on outside of your hometown.
Yeah, it's really cool to get to meet like new scenes.
Mhm.
Because they're all very different. They have like a different dynamic, like different genres, different styles of moshing. So it's really cool to go to new areas, aside from even just like getting to see a new city, like just like experiencing the music there.
Mhm.
And we're lucky, like we all have a great time with each other. So it's really just a good time all around.
I think also being in the Northeast is we're uniquely privileged in many regards because I think the scene out here specifically for our genre of music and sort of adjacent styles is really flourishing right now, and
Mhm.
for bands like us who are touring on a budget and driving in my Toyota Camry across the country, like across the coast, it's accessible to see other scenes and stuff. So it's been a cool experience to have that, and I think we all love it.
Yeah.
Through all the rough stuff and the good stuff,
And very motivating to keep making music and keep touring. So
It's fun to make contacts and stuff too wherever you go.
Definitely.
yeah, totally.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've
cut-
met a lot of really cool people so far. It's been
Well,
great.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, what's the farthest out that you've ever gone from home?
We've played in Miami, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
probably the furthest. We've also gone to Ohio, Cincinnati, and Columbus. No, not Columbus. We played Cleveland.
Yeah, Columbus.
No, I think it was Cleveland. We passed through Columbus though, because we went. It was
Oh
like
yeah,
6 hours.
it was yeah, that was an insane experience. But we've gone pretty far south and west from here. We want to do the West Coast soon.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, it sounds like you've pretty much you're covering. It won't be too long. You've probably done just about every state east of the Mississippi now. You've got the East Coast, and you're getting out a little bit into the Midwest now. that's great that you're getting the word out and everything. And you've got 5 people that are able to get along through all this because, it's just like with any other band, not only do you have to play well together, you also have to get along. And sometimes, you have to juggle those. But doing all this traveling and everything, it sounds like things are going good for you here. So you've got some material out here. I was looking online and you've got some singles out and it looks like you have an EP. Where were these done? Where did you record them? And is there a studio you prefer to use?
So, we've done those, or that EP with, drums we did with our friend Eduardo Casella, who is based in Lynn, Massachusetts. And he just has his own studio. So we did them there. And then guitars and vocals are pretty much DIY at home.
DIY or die.
Till I die.
Huh,
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's pretty much self-produced then for the most part, huh?
Yeah, we got people to help out along the way. Like, I think definitely for the first EP, we were so lost on like how to do anything. Because there's like a big learning curve, especially I think in our genre, which is like, requires a lot of production, like accurate production, I guess. So it was just kind of like a learning experience. And recording drums, I think, was definitely our biggest struggle, just because, that's just like a hard process to do for the first time.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we're switching things up right now. Like, we have recording after this, actually. And we're
Okay.
using our school studio for guitar recording. And we're recording drums at like a studio, like a local nonprofit here.
Oh, good. That's a job right there, getting the drums down. Once you get the drums down, everything else, and the bass and everything, you do that, it's pretty much smooth sailing. But my God, it's I remember the old days of using a click track, and then if you wanted to punch in or eliminate something, you didn't have buttons to do it. It wasn't electronic;
Yeah.
it was tape, and
Right.
we had the old razor blades in there, and you had to cut it right at the
Yeah,
right spot. And it's come such a long way nowadays.
Yeah,
But
and it sounded so good back then too. Like, now I feel like nowadays so many bands are trying to sound like old school or like older. Like, there's so
yeah,
much more like technology, and a lot of bands are trying to sound like 20 years ago. Or
Emulating that sort of analog sound that
yeah,
and I think it's interesting because I think we all share like a desire to, like, in many ways, like, get that tightness with our writing and our performance, but also maintaining that sort of more analog traditional recording sound.
yeah, just the feel of like live music,
wonderful. Well, how about we hear something? What would you like to play for us first today?
Why don't we do Edible Arrangement?
Edible Arrangement. This is Edible Arrangement by Slamwich. So that was Edible Arrangement. Very, very interesting. Good song, good stuff here. It's good to hear. I'm always interested in hearing new bands and new material and everything. And so many people nowadays, and probably closer to my age group, they always say things like, "Oh man, there's no good new music out there nowadays. Everything sucks." Well, you need to listen to my show, especially when I have people like you on the show, because there's plenty of great stuff out there. People are putting out stuff all the time. Some people happen to listen to radio stations that play Bachman Turner Overdrive and Creedence Clearwater Revival 10 times a day, which would probably help if they would, come to the dark side and listen to us, but that's the thing, there's plenty of great stuff out there, plenty of people, if you're just willing to go look for it and listen to it,
Definitely.
Yep. Yeah. So, okay, so I've got a bass player here. I'm going to pick on you a little bit here because I'm a bass player myself.
Let's do it. Hit me.
What kind of rigs and gear, and let's talk about that a little bit.
So I'm rocking an Ibanez bass, and my rig 5-string. Yes, thank you for reminding me. A 5-string Ibanez, and I'm using primarily an Alpha Omega head by Dark Glass.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And who did you admire growing up?
Honestly, I mean, I started playing guitar. So
yeah, sure.
For me, a lot of my I think I'm sort of different. I'm like I think of myself as sort of the black sheep in terms of genres that I'm into. Compared to the rest of the band, I grew up a lot of punk stuff, sort of hardcore, and I'm from the West Coast, so a lot of the West Coast old school stuff, and a lot of stuff from around down in DC, like the Bad Brains, the Minor Threat, the all those older punk rock hardcore bands were my main influences, and I think that would be my answer for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And the thing is, there's with gear out there. I mean, there's so much stuff out there to play with, and different things to try, both old and new, and everything. It's there's such a big world out there, especially with bass too. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with it, to up your sound, and different things you can do, and some things are customized just to one bass player. I mean, a lot of the things like Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick does, playing his 8-string bass, basically making up for a second guitar there in a lot of ways too, because he hits a lot of chords, and it's a wonderful world that I enjoy being part of it. And so we also have a guitar player here, I see, huh?
Yes, that would be me.
An amazing guitar player.
Good. So tell us, what did you like growing up? What inspired you? Who were you into?
So I really grew up on classic stuff, really. I think I went the really stereotypical route. Like, my parents weren't into, any sort of heavy music, but I wasn't very into music when I was young, ironically, until they showed me kind of rock stuff. And then I did some digging, and I started playing. I got into metal really, really quickly, because I always wanted something heavier. First it was Megadeth, so that was a really big inspiration, Dave solos and stuff like that. And then my favorites were definitely Pantera, Slayer, so I was a huge Dimebag head. But then eventually I got into heavier death metal and stuff like that. I would say deathcore, which is what we're doing now. So the techier stuff and shred stuff like Yngwie. I've always been really, really into the technicality of guitar playing. So just technique stuff. And I never got to write until we started this band, but I was just so really focused on getting as clean as I could, or as fast, sweeping as fast as possible. So yeah. And I think for the music that we're writing now, definitely There It Is Murder, newer bands too, Peeling Flesh, slam stuff, just anything heavy and anything technical. I really love.
That's great. Did you so when and I'll ask you about this too, your writing process. Is there one main writer or do you all just kind of bring things to the table?
So for the EP, Andrea wrote all the guitar. And now since I mean Joey and our other guitarist Oscar are new additions to the band. Like we had old members, but they just recently replaced them, and now we're starting a more collaborative process, which has been really, really cool to see so far. I mean, I'm the vocalist. I'm not great at guitar, so I just kind of like watch and admire what's going on. But yeah, it's pretty collaborative right now.
Interesting, interesting. Well, it's good to have it as a collaboration right now. And again, it's again you're balancing personalities, balancing what everybody brings to the table, and when somebody feels a certain way about an idea and everything, those are all things that have to be managed as well. You see people get really, and again, I've been in enough bands to know that if sometimes when things start getting cut or you have to compromise, it's a difficult thing to do. You got to tread kind of lightly sometimes, you know.
Totally. I think we're working on that so hard right now. Just trying, like, everybody has different tastes, everyone has different opinions, and a lot of
Right,
us are
right.
opinionated, I would say mostly myself. But just being able to like communicate, ideas to each other, or like propose different alternatives to just like the ending of a song.
Mhm.
And it's like it's really easy to get like frustrated with the part, or like get writer's block. So we're working on it right now, but we're like, I feel like in the best state we've been in terms of like the people in the band, and the way we're communicating. Like it's
Mhm.
honestly just so fun to just sit down and write.
And I
Right.
think also we were talking about this actually last night, but um, I think most of us, I think all of us actually, sort of try to remember, like, fundamentally, like, to just respect each other. Like, I think respect is really important to all of us. And so it's like honoring each other as musicians, by like, okay, let's hear this idea, let's see if it works. You know what I mean? And um, remembering that like everyone's legitimate, and but we want to serve the music. You know what I mean?
Sure,
So whatever,
sure.
even if it's not my part, if it's better for the song, then it's better for the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's a tough pill to swallow, as you were saying, but we're getting better at that
Yeah.
collaboratively.
Sure,
So
sure. Why don't we hear another song? You had another one for me today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michelin star murder.
Tell me about this.
So this song is featuring Tracheotomy, which is a South Florida deathcore band, kind of in our same genre. Um, but yeah, this song was one of the last songs we wrote on the EP. I think it literally took 3 months to write, but it
Mhm.
was worth it.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and give it a spin. This is Michelin Star Murder by Slamwich. yeah, another great song, Michelin Star Murder. So where can our listeners find out all about Slamwich, and what do you have coming up?
So we're on all streaming platforms. It's just Slamwich, capital S. We have an Instagram. It's Slamwich with a 1 instead of an I. And we have a couple shows coming up. We got one in New Kensington, Pennsylvania, right outside of Pittsburgh with the band Tala.
Mhm.
And then we've got another one November 14th in Orlando with Heavy Hitter for their EP release show.
And then you keep all your dates up on your social media and everything so people can go directly there and find them and everything. Well, that's wonderful. Well, hey, all best of luck to you getting out on the road and everything. Amen. You sounds like you're really going for it right now, and things are going good. So I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to see this here. And so, folks, we've been listening to Slamwich so far. All of their social media and their links will be in the show notes for you to reference. Once we put this up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@97underground Michael Spedden, for all of our interviews here. And thanks, guys, for coming by. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Mike.
you, Michael.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah.
And folks, thank you all for listening. We're coming up on a hard break, but we'll be back with more stuff right after these words. You're listening to The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, here on 97underground.com. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, folks, that was Slamwich from Boston, Massachusetts. Thanks again, Slamwich, for stopping by and speaking with us today on 97underground.com. And it's always a pleasure to hear great new exciting bands come on and show us their stuff. We had Michelin Star Murder and Edible Arrangement, 2 of their newer songs. And they have a Facebook page and Instagram page. They have plenty of things on YouTube, a number of both live and studio-produced videos there. So, folks, don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. We'll be back right after these words. And thanks again for listening to 97 Underground, the Michael Spedden interviews, and we hope you enjoyed today's show. Remember, download the free app from 97underground.com so you can listen to us wherever you go. The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Listen anytime, anywhere. Metal.
Metal.
Worldwide metal, 24/7. 97underground.com.